everyone, this is Persephone, and today I want to discuss and share my absolutely horrible experience with kick streaming. This is just a review. I have no ill will or hatred towards anyone. I'm making this video because I want to warn other people to simply never stream there by sharing things that, although I had done very extensive research on that platform, I didn't see them shared anywhere. So I'm going to start by saying that I am an experienced streamer. I have mostly streamed on adult sites, but I have met my fair share of trolls, abusers, crazy people, pervert people. So I'm not someone who is easily intimidated because someone is trolling or someone is just a bad person. And it's not supposed to be an NSFW platform, so I was thinking, how bad can things be? I first got the idea to stream there from a YouTuber called Daniel hiding in my room that he was claiming to make $200 per day streaming, which honestly for coming, $200 are not really that much money if you stream 12 to 16 hours a day like he did. But the reason why I decided to even try it is that in October 1, I had acute appendicitis. I needed an emergency appendectomy. Long story short, I almost died, and for 25 days, the doctors told me no physical activity whatsoever. And I mean, when you do an adult stream and you use toys and all of that stuff, and you have to dance and you have to do things, it does count as physical activity. So I was looking for something else to do in the meantime because I couldn't film, I couldn't do anything. And kick streaming came up. I say kick streaming too because there's apparently a Kick app as well. They're not the same. I've never tried the app. I'm only talking about the platform that is what is called the knockoff tweets by some haters. I haven't tried tweets, so I don't know. And things were so bad that I'm honestly traumatized. I haven't streamed there in 4 weeks and only now I'm able to talk about it. But no further intro, no one cares about my feelings. You're here for the tea and the information. The first things that you need to know, very few things about the rules so that you know what we're talking about, is that there are 3 levels. It's kind of gamified, which is pretty cool. First level is affiliate. You need, I think, 5 hours of streaming and some subscribers. Then there is a next level that is called monetization, and then there is the partner. And for the partner, you need an average of 75 viewers for the last 30 days, and you need 25 paid subscriptions. The first level, the affiliate, I hit it within a few hours. It was very easy. I think if you are nice and you talk to people and you interact with people, it's not going to be very difficult. Now, let's go to the problematic part that, oh my God, I don't know where to start from. Subscribers that they are gifted to you do not count towards monetization, which means that if I come to your room as a kick streamer and I gift you 100 subscribers, which is $4 and something cents, it only counts as 1. You get the money for the rest of them, but you don't get progress towards your goal, which is to be first monetized and second to be a partner. Now you're going to say, okay, what does monetization even offer? Monetization puts you in a tier where you get paid on a weekly basis, which is extremely important because I got paid only once. I don't plan to work there again. And they pay you once a month, but in reality, it's not once a month. It's once every around 40 days because it takes days and days and days for the money to go on Stripe and for the money to go into your bank account. So if you're still someone who wants to try it, a masochist, I would say have savings in the bank because you're not going to see any income coming in for a very long time. And you don't want to have to wait to get paid once a month. I have Bolane Models, which is an agency that I work with on the campsites, and they send me money on a daily basis. So you can say I was pretty spoiled. I'm not going to abandon something that pays me daily for something that pays me once a month. But again, you can say this is a you problem, this is not a me problem, so I'm still going to try it. The second problem is that the men who are there are honestly the worst I've ever encountered, some of the worst. And trigger warning, I'm autistic, which also played a big part on the fact that I feel so incredibly abused. But there was also legit abuse. The site does not allow any nudity, which is pretty obvious. And okay, everyone and their dog and their grandma's dog and their dog's best friend would come to tell you, take off your panties, take off your bra, do this, do that, and they're going to order you around, even though you're not allowed to do that. That repetition, blocked words do not stop them, I was under the naive impression that you can use blocked words and you can use the AI moderator or a real moderator. They just get more creative at abusing you, trying to get you banned. I believe that site is full of kinksters, and the number one kink is how to get a model or a streamer banned from the platform. Legit misogyny. And the site doesn't do anything. I reported plenty of these men. Nothing was ever done according to my knowledge, and they also are not allowed to disclose what measures they take, which usually when this happens, it's none at all. But okay, I digress. There was a lot of rampant sexual harassment that started to really make me angry, because I had said at the start of the stream that I'm recovering from surgery, and I had endless requests, just twerk, just do this, just do that. And first of all, I'm not your personal stripper. And second, if you want to see women twerking or using toys or getting naked, there are campsites for that. Why don't you go to a campsite? That question was answered fairly quickly after my second or third stream, and that was that all the broke men who are going to be instantly banned from a campsite seem to go on kick stream. That I had so many people that they felt completely entitled to abuse me and order me around when they tipped nothing and they didn't buy any subscriptions, yet they felt entitled to that. That is crazy to me. I'm going to repeat it. You can see I'm very spoiled from campsites. When you go on StreamMate and someone sends you a 50 gold tip just because they like you and they're polite to you, and then you go to someone say, get up, sit down, twerk, open your legs, show your panties, take off your panties, like that, you're like, wait a minute, what is going on here? I don't deserve this. I can do so much better than this, easier in 10 other places. That was a mild abuse. The non-mild abuse, and now we're entering into all this territory, is the chit-chat. That I don't want to say anything about unaliving, but this is the worst possible thing you can do to an autistic person, in my opinion. Endless repetitive conversations of, hey, hi, how are you? How is the weather? What did you eat? How do you do? How was your day? Hey, you're still streaming. How are you? If you're autistic, or if you know someone autistic is like, you'd better beat me, then subject me to this for hours and hours and hours and hours. And before you say, okay, if you're so antisocial, why are you there? I had put so many things in my bio that I'm interested in, hoping to attract like-minded people like transhumanism, AI, self-development, working out, books you like, series you like, movies you like. I had put a plethora of things we could discuss. Maybe 1% of people were interested in that, and the rest was, hey, hi, how are you? How was your day? There were some people who subscribed, and I'm grateful to them, but here's the problem. The same people showed up on the next stream, and then on the next stream, and then on the stream after that, and then they stayed for hours and hours and hours. Again, comparison to a campsite, because I consider Kick Now softcore porn, softcore campsite. That's my opinion. I don't care if you're offended. I have the right to my own opinion. On Chaturbate, let's say, in comparison, if someone pays $20 for a private show, which is a very small price, I put it in comparison, and you do the private show and the next day they come to your room, they have to pay again. It's very similar to going to the supermarket or going to the restaurant or going to anywhere that you have to buy a service or a product. I can't go to the hair salon to cut my hair and pay and then go the next day and say, hey, can you cut my hair again because I paid yesterday? People are going to say, are you crazy? Of course you have to pay again. But on Kick, you had to entertain the same person who paid $4 once for an entire month. So you can think if your labor and your time is worth that little, because mine is most definitely not. I cannot be with a person all the time and exert massive emotional labor than they paid $4 1 week ago. But that's not even the meat and potatoes of this video. Part 2 of my horrible experience on Kick streaming. I tried different time zones to avoid the same people who spend $4 once and then they felt entitled to endless emotional labor and me being some kind of virtual girlfriend / nanny / therapist. It didn't work. There were people that they would have a notification to get out of bed every time I was online to say, hey, I got out of bed for you. Like, excuse me, no one asked you to do that. You don't have to do that and then blame me. And there were also several very parasocial people. There was someone who said something that really bothered me, that he was from Canada, and he said, when you come to Canada, if you come to Canada, I'm going to show you around. That wasn't a request. That was a declaration that like, excuse me, I said I don't meet strangers from online, especially men. How does he even know that I like him so much I'm going to agree to meet him? And then he became very defensive and he started saying it wouldn't be a date. Oh yeah, because I was born yesterday and I don't know that a man and a woman who don't know each other meet in real life, and it's not going to be some kind of like sexual undertone, at least there. So I don't go back to things I have overcome in life. I try not to do that. So if I'm very good at banning all the crazy subs who want to move in with me, I don't want to kick people who want to meet me or are in parasocial relationships. Then there was a very curvy lady there that is one of the worst people I've ever met in my life, that she started sending her moderators and other people to harass me relentlessly and to report me, and they were reporting what I was wearing when there were so many other women wearing worse stuff, and there was endless drama. I'm going to spare you because this was probably the most low IQ drama I've ever seen in my life. You would probably be interested in that if you are 14, but long story short, she's jealous of new female streamers and she's trying everything she can to get them off the platform. And she had 40 viewers, and at first when they came and they pretended to explain themselves, I was understanding. They blamed some viewer, but the second time, I'm human, I own up to my mistakes, I don't have endless patience, so the words fat and trash and ghetto and 40 viewers loser may or may not have been mentioned on my ex account, which unleashed even more reports. They were so brazen that they were reporting me from the real accounts, and I messaged Kick Support, and Kick Support did absolutely nothing to protect me. Which I think that this is a platform that clearly thrives on stupid drama, because if you did this on StreamAid, if she was on StreamAid, first of all, she would never have been approved on StreamAid because it doesn't have the looks and seductive power. But if you're there and you pull something like that on StreamAid or on Nightflare, you'd be banned on the spot, especially as a model who has a low income. And that turned me off so much. I'm like, I don't deserve to be bullied like that. I have so much better things to do with my time. And you want to keep this platform where you work 12 hours to make $30. I'm going to go back to the campsites. Best of luck to you. But there were also several sadists there. That there was a guy who came to my room and he started relentlessly sexually harassing me from New York. I'm going to tell you, have a permanent ban. If you are from New York, I'm never going to be your friend. I haven't met a single decent person from New York in my entire life. I don't know why, what's in the water there. I'm sorry if you are from there, you're offended. It's just my experience. And he gifted me one subscriber. And he said, I'm not going to actually become your subscriber. I just gift you to torment you, essentially, that, I know you need individual subscribers to be a partner. So I'm going to give you some money so I have an excuse to relentlessly harass you, but I'm never going to be an individual subscriber. So my conclusion from all of this very bad, very abusive experience is that it's very easy to get gifted subscribers if you have basic streaming skills, but it's next to impossible to get 25 individual subscribers. And in my opinion, Kik does false advertising by misrepresenting that, we pay you $16 per hour with the partnership product, but your real employer isn't Kik. Your real employer is those 25 individuals, minimum 25, that you are going to have to convince to be your individual subscriber, that they are going to make you work like a dystopian slave for it. And I understood now why hiding in my room had to be there for hours and hours and hours and get nothing done, because the rate that I was getting individual subscribers was so low that it meant that practically I had no time to work on any other campsite. I had no time to film. That's one reason why I wasn't filming on YouTube. And eventually I said, I don't feel comfortable putting all of my eggs in one basket, no matter how good the basket is. And in this case, the basket is rotten already. So goodbye and good luck. And I have to say that I consider this streaming culture extremely toxic. I was constantly pressured into playing games. I'm extremely anti-gaming. I had married not one but two gamers in the past. My life was destroyed. I consider it a drug addiction, and I'm not immune to it. I think if I started playing competitive games, I would be an addict pretty fast. And honestly, again, TMI for me, you can ignore it. I want to live in the real world. I don't want to live in some fantasy world with fantasy people and to be sedentary. That if I don't work, and if I don't do something productive on the computer, or if I don't stream, I don't want to spend a second sitting down more than I have to. So to sit there and play some kind of game and talk nonsense is something that is not going to be in my life. Overall, I consider it by far the worst streaming platform. If it was a 1 to 5 review, like stars review, I would give maybe 0 stars, but okay, because you can't give 0 stars, I would give 1 star. It's a platform that it doesn't have clear boundaries. They say you shouldn't do inappropriate things or things that embarrass kids. Why don't you just define these things? Other campsites say it: no scat, no minors, no violence, no threats, no meetings. It's specific. Inappropriate is so subjective. For that, an obese woman from the ghetto who was harassing me, making 70 fake accounts to harass me, seemed very appropriate. And you did nothing to her, so I conclude that it seems very appropriate to you. And the other thing that was actually very important is that it's exactly, if you're a cam girl, bear with me for a minute, this video is going to end soon. It's exactly like you are on a freemium campsite with all the cheapskates, with all the stalkers, but without any of the actual tools that will allow you to make money. You cannot sell videos, you cannot do private shows, you don't have apps that they're like roll the dice or tip gold, you don't have anything. You only have those free subscribers that it's up to people's good discretion if they're going to gift them to you or not, which I call total bullshit. If Kik cared about its streamers, I could tell you just hire me, or you don't even have to hire me. I'm going to do it for free. I'm going to give you so many ideas that they're going to skyrocket your income. For example, if someone wants to spend a specific amount of hours in your stream, they have to start getting charged for it. That even if you don't want to completely dismantle that loser subscription system, it's like, okay, the first 10 hours with the streamer are free, and I'm being generous, but after that, you have to start paying a monthly subscription or a monthly fee, or you have to subscribe. That, for example, on specific premium sites, you get kicked out if you don't buy anything after some time. So if you're on my stream for hours and hours and hours and you interact with me, why is that totally free for you? Why don't I have to charge you something? Or if you are going to be so dirty with all of these dirty-minded men, just throw in the bucket and call it a campsite and say we have 2 levels. One level is freemium and the other level is premium, and the premium has full nudity. We're all adults here. Why don't you just create an adult tier? Because I'm so sick of this man expecting everything for free. It was honestly horrible. I'm never going back to that platform. I absolutely hate it. They are on my blacklist, and I'm going to say, if you're there watching streams, I suggest checking your life, taking a good look out of your life and asking yourself, why are you entitled to the free labor of women who are not your girlfriend? You are not going to get a girlfriend out of the free streamers, and essentially for every hour you're wasting there for no purpose, you're wasting everyone's time. So yeah, that was a horrific experience. I'm extremely pissed, I'm pretty traumatized, but I get to have the last laugh because there is only one thing that is the worst revenge at the end of the day. That this obese woman who harassed me and her minions, they're still there, and I'm not there.